Hey everyone, it's Greg with Advantage One Brokers, and this is a new training that we're doing. Today we're going to talk about telesales. Okay, I got a lot of interest from all the people that reached out to me, and just again, thank you so much everyone for the overwhelming support and the outreach. And I know that I've like literally hundreds of agents across the country have reached out to not only me, but the other people that were on the last podcast we did with Jeff, Kevin, Chris, and even Lance here. And so I just want to say thank you for all the support. And if we have not gotten to you, just be patient, because it literally is, it's a lot over the last 48 hours. So thank you so much. I have the distinct honor and pleasure of welcoming Lance Rodrigue to the podcast. Lance, how you doing, brother?
I'm well, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. So, man, telesales. Yeah. What got you thinking about telesales, and how'd you start, and what brought you to what are you developing here in Advantage One Brokers, and kind of what was that evolution like?
Yeah. So let me start off how I got into telesales. Leaving the previous IMO that you and I met 2 years ago, there was no telesales division. It was frowned upon to even talk about doing telesales. So I had left that previous IMO when I moved to Florida, couldn't get the lead flow I needed. So I started this other company because they promised better lead flow, which within a month, they said, why don't you get on the phones in our call center? So that launched my experience over the phone. And with no dip on my income, I was able to produce a minimum of $20,000 a month while still hiring 2 days a week doing telesales. I found it very lucrative, but also appealing, because now I could switch hats. I can be going from a prospect call with a client producing to then building in between in a matter of a flip of a call. Whereas in the field, it didn't permit that, because walking into the house, walking out of a house, going to the gas station, having to use the restroom, that's the field agent's biggest problem is the restroom, looking for the nearest restroom. So those are some of the issues or some of the things that really appealed to me. And I saw the value of being able to offer our services over the phone, especially with this pandemic, some say a plandemic. I saw the issues that were happening with the certain states that were being locked down. Even though we were considered essential, I still would have no shows or people terrified about meeting me face to face. And I would blow through a lead, because then it's very difficult to recall that lead after they're like, yeah, I told you I'm not meeting with no person. So now being able to do everything strictly over the phone, fully remote, there was no excuse not to talk to me now, because I could offer our service strictly over the phone. So I was at this previous IMO, Greg, for about 5 months. At that time, Chris Alvarez was approached me and said, hey, dude, why don't you run some mortgage leads for us here at Advantage One Brokers? I love mortgage. It's fun. It's a different caliber of people. So I said, sure, give me some leads, with no intent of ever leaving the telesales division. So I started running mortgage. They said, for free, don't need to move your contracts, keep them there, just keep running, just try them out. I absolutely love them.
I love this story. I love this story.
Yeah,
I know this is a telesales podcast. I know this is a telesales podcast, but we can take a sidestep real quick, and we can kind of dig into this. You with your mortgage protection, you told me a story, and you talked about what your results were. So kind of talk about your results and what you have with the mortgage protection leads here in Advantage One Brokers, because their mailers are proprietary, and the way it's all about the speed. It's all about the speed of the data, and they get their data a week earlier than any other mail house. That's the difference. So they can guarantee you're going to be the first agent at home. That is the difference. So you're in Florida.
In Florida now, and as of October.
And previous companies, which the data that you're running, the mortgage protection leads that you're running, you're having. What's your success there? And then when you try these leads, how many leads did you get? What were your results?
Yeah. So moving right into what I was leading up to was leads. Not all leads are created equal. And when I ran these leads and I saw the conversion ratio, I was blown away. You almost felt like you weren't working, because you're making more money working less hours, because you don't need to be on the phone 2 days a week, 8 hours a day, booking appointments. I'm able to book the appointment very quickly, the way we train, the quality of the lead, because the data is what matters most. Who are they mailing these mailers to? That's what matters. And I was getting people that were very receptive, very aware that they filled out this form and that they're looking for some type of coverage. And just so people know, Florida has a very low return rate. Right now, I stand at 11 for 12 on the closing on these mortgage leads. Again, I do mostly all of my business over the phone, you guys. I have to actually transition my mortgage to strictly over the phone because that's where I feel to be most profitable. But with these direct mail, so they didn't ask me to move on my contracts. They said, Lance, here, try these leads. Let us know what your consensus is. Get back to us.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, no commitment. Let me run them. Just like we did with you, Greg. Here's some leads. Try them. If you like them, you know where to find us. We did the exact same to me. And I said, I love it. Let's do it. I then flew to California or Nevada to meet with Chris Alvarez. I was on vacation. I thought to myself, why am I doing telesales and my final expense with one company and my mortgage with another? Why don't I marry the two? So that's when I had the conversation with Chris Curry and Spencer to develop the telesales division here at Advantage One Brokers. And within 2 months, Greg, I've been able to create a system to where now we have inbound calls coming in, whereas extremely different from anything out there, because I was brought up in an industry where you have to dial out. You got to be calling the prospect.
Wow.
Whereas now I get inbound calls. If you ask me, Greg, looking in the month of July, how many calls did you make to make your sales? I said, they all called me, Greg. The only time I dialed out was a follow-up. I didn't have to make a single call out because I'm busy hiring, training. I don't have the time to produce, but yet I still produce 20 to 30,000 a month on a part-time basis, working 12 hours a week for production. Because just like you, our time is better served investing back into our agents.
Yeah.
So
just to be clear with everyone, live train. I mean, it's good that they're calling in, but live transfers are not something new. So like most telesales companies, like there's a lot of final expense telesales companies out there. They work primarily off of live transfers. Okay. It's unusual for an IMO. And I think this is the point that Lance is trying to make. It's unusual for an IMO, such as like Advantage One Brokers to start a telesales operation from scratch. How long have you been with Advantage One Brokers, Lance?
I started in May.
So since May has been able to start a telesales operation, get live transfers that are proprietary to Advantage One Brokers up and running, and then get it to the level where it's at a 50% close ratio. Okay. Yeah. That's the point. Okay. And that's where the power is that, having the backing of people like Christopher Curry and Spencer Long in Advantage One Brokers is that Lance got to do this. And how much did you come out of pocket trying to create that, Lance?
Nothing.
Wow.
It was mind blowing.
That's mind blowing, bro. That's seriously, that is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They knew you since May. They knew you since May, and they're trusting you that much. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. You and I come from a place where you want it, you got to go build it. You got to fund it, manage it, learn it. They get to give me the full autonomy to go out there and explore and create relationships with these vendors, people that I need to help build out the Advantage One Brokers, with representing them in a way as I get to speak with Advantage One Brokers. They give me the resources, which was so new to me, Greg. When and I'm sure you can speak into this too, you're not used to getting the support like this before. You had to keep your telesales division hush hush, whereas here they're like, no, let's fund this, help us. What can we do for your agency? What can we do for you to help grow this? And it was just unprecedented. I've never had this before. And the value that they add to me is they're teaching me how to run an IMO, which is unreal, because usually a manager wants to keep you at a level to where you don't know, you know just enough to do the task they want you to do. Whereas they're like, no, here's how everything works. And, you and I had the pleasure of flying out to the home office and shaking hands, seeing some eyeballs, and they get nothing but royalty. The first class, the way they treated us. We got to meet Brian Pohl. We got to meet Kevin there at Assura, and they just welcomed us with open arms as if we were family. And it's been nothing less with that full experience. But to talk more about the telesales, I mean, do you want me to spin more on the telesales, or do you want me to talk more about the mortgage leads
So,
And what that looks
I
like.
really just want to kind of talk just for stats. Okay. I'll ask some questions. We'll
Okay.
go over stats. So prior, prior examples, just for comparison's sake, how far were you having to drive just to get mortgage
Yeah.
protection?
Yeah, this
No,
is what pushed me out the door at the previous IMO. Was I live here in Fort Lauderdale. I had to go to Orlando, 3 hours away, driving a Tesla, not fun, having to charge midway twice a week to run mortgage leads that I was paying $81.
Yeah.
Now, here at Advantage One Brokers, our mortgage leads are exclusive and they're only $50. It costs $70 to generate a lead because the cost is going up because
Well,
there's
that's
less
also
of a
dependent
response
upon
rate.
county. It's dependent upon county. So where you're at $70, but like David Doring just basically locked up most of the all of California, and it was
Yeah.
$95 per lead.
Insane.
He still paid $50 per lead.
Yeah.
So Advantage One Brokers almost ate the equal cost of generating those for him. He paid for the first. It's insane. He paid for like the first 150 or 200 leads for the first week up front, and they paid like the equal amount into it just to get those rolling. But they have to pay it for multiple weeks going forward because they have to pay for multiple weeks in order to get the flow continued, because he only pays for the first 200 leads. Once those come in, then he starts to do a buy per lead basis. So they had to pay for multiple weeks out of their own pocket, which is insane to me that they're willing to do that. They're willing to go in the hole because they're so confident, because their leads are so good, that they're go down on one side of the business in order to exponentially raise in the other, because their leads are quality and their agents will sell. So
here's a beautiful point you touched on, Greg, is that we have the highest quality leads that convert because we're not a lead company, but we create leads for our agents. Yeah. Whereas some IMOs say, hey, there's 20 different companies out there. Good luck, pick the best one. Or as you mentioned in your other video, the internet leads, which are garbage, that are not exclusive, been trampled through, recycled. Whereas with our leads, they're exclusive. You can't recycle a live transfer, you guys. You can't recycle these mortgage leads that we got. We do have second chance where after 90 days, 6 months, you can buy them at a fraction of the price.
But those were not sold, just to be very, very clear and transparent. Our B leads, which are second chance leads, those terms are synonymous. Our B leads are A leads that were not sold to an Advantage One broker agent. So if they did mail drops in an area and an agents could not buy them up, our agents could not buy them up, they will sell them at a premium cost to another organization, another IMO. Okay. And they have those deals with other IMOs. They sell all kinds of leads at a good cost to other IMOs in order to kind of offset all this mail that they're doing. Now, for all of those leads, they do sell those as B leads. They put those back into their system and sell them only to Advantage One broker agents. And then they sell those leads to those Advantage One brokers agents for $4 a piece one time, not 3 times, not a 1 month, not a 2 month, and then a 3 month, the same lead being sold multiple times, one time. Okay. So they're not in the business of trying to make money off of a lead. They're in the business of getting leads into agents' hands so that agents can make money and everybody can make money together. Very transparent. Yep. Okay. Which is awesome. Like just having that concept. So if you are getting an A lead, if you're getting a brand new mortgage section lead, that is your lead. It will never be resold. You do not have to go to Advantage One brokers and show them that you sold it in order to keep it before it's resold. It does not happen. So just to clarify, because sometimes people will hear something like, well, what does this mean? And I like to be very, very clear, about, as clear as in the military, we say clear as mud, this way everyone's tracking like a tow missile. So
no, that's great, man. So since then, having that prior experience of having such a great distance to run mortgage, now I have them in my backyard. But again, I do everything over the phone now. So there's no need for me to go face to face on the mortgage. But
So
just to
how many
know
leads did you
that
get?
Advantage One Brokers is offering the highest quality lead because they're in the goal of putting more money in your pocket where it belongs, and you're not having to gamble with your income because it could really destroy an agent, Greg. And I'm sure you've seen this where they come in, all I got is this $400, and then they're forced to go buy some internet leads, and it just destroys them, and they have no more money after they go back working a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So I've seen it.
I've seen that time and time again, time and time again.
Terrible. And
Yeah.
it's terrible. And that's not what I want to happen for anybody coming on board. Is I want them to know, while they're brand new to the industry, they can do this too. Why? Because I'm so confident in our leads. We have leads that convert, and that's what matters most. And the key thing, what you told me, Greg.
So just to back up,
let me just share this one thought, Greg.
Go ahead.
When you were asking me about the leads, you talked more about your team than what it meant for you. And I thought that was very outstanding because that was a servant leader and a selfish leader that said, hey, how's this going to benefit my team? I need to know that my guys like this. So we threw leads to your team to let them try. And I found that very remarkable that you cared so much about your team rather than how this could benefit you. You right away were looking for consensus of your team as a whole. And I love that about you, man. I think you're really somebody who leads from the front. And I think you're going to do great things as a leader and establishing leadership within Advantage One Brokers.
I appreciate that, man. I would do. It was a difficult transition. I'm telling you, like when coming in, I was like, this is going to be, there's too much change for the team. Like my guys, I can't do this to my guys, my gals. Like we're doing good, and then I saw everything and I was like, I would be stupid to not put them in this system. Even if they don't all come at once, they'll eventually see the success and they'll eventually all come. They will all eventually come. I'm sure of it because the system's that much better. And when they see from the other side that the grass was greener, then they'll realize it and they'll want to come over. And I'll be there. I'll be here to help them out. I'll be here to help anybody out that wants to come over. But the system really is that much better. And I saw that and I was like, I would be doing a disservice to all of the agents on my team and the future agents that I hire and recruit and try to help, that to not put them in the best position possible. And honestly, that's how every leader should feel. That's how every single agency manager should feel, is putting people in the best position possible, putting all of the agents in their organization to be successful, not for them to be successful.
Yeah.
So, and so I appreciate you saying that. And we're starting to get back into the telesales, but before we do, just real quick stats. You said you had 11 to 12 closes. How many leads did you get? Okay. How many sits did you do? How many sales did you have? And what was your overall AP? Just on this, the test mortgage leads that you got that you were like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah. So I think I got 6 leads. I closed 5 out of those 6.
Okay.
And I said, this is unreal. I'm used to having to get maybe 1 or 2 out of a company that was charging me $81. Here, $50. They gave them to me free. I closed 5 out of 6. I said, this is unreal. And I was rusty, Birch. Like I hadn't been selling mortgage for like 6 months because at that point I was only doing final expense over the phone. And they said, just try leads. I said, great. I treated just like every other lead. I went out there, helped the family, put the focus on them because I really do care and they see the value. Mm-hmm. And when you can demonstrate the value, it's just finding the option that meets their budget. Yeah. It's not even sales. I tell you, it's like the more you do this, the realize you understand the conviction you have to really put people in a better position because none of us know what tomorrow lies, mm-hmm. what could happen. So I rest every night. I feel great about this because I put a prospect, a family in a better position while also helping advance agents increase their income as well. So I truly believe we have the best industry. We're in the best industry ever, man. So give you some stats. So on a part-time basis, I'm doing between 20 and 30,000. I'm working maybe 12 hours a week. I don't do any outbound calls right now. All I do is accept inbound calls because I'm really focused on catering to helping the agents growing out the telesales division. I have a lot of conversations because I'm getting a lot of attention for some of these other big partners that are partnered with us, such as Symmetry, Assure, and they're all taking a look at this telesales division. They all want to expand it, and that's where my time is allocated a lot of the time. So for somebody coming on board, this is all I would say before we really go into the telesales division, Greg, for the mortgage is they convert, man. That's what I care about is I'm spending a fraction what I was spending at the previous IMO, having to drive 3 hours one way. I spend a fraction of those funds to convert at a higher level, which means I have more income in my bank. Making 30, 40 grand at the previous IMO was like, well, that's respectable. And yes, but how much of that was I keeping?
How much, what's your withdrawals?
Yeah,
If you deposit 25,000 and your withdrawals are 24,000, you don't have any money. You're in the same position. Here, you can deposit 25,000 and your withdrawals will be like 4,000 and you'll have $20,000. That's a lot better. Which one do you have more money in? Which one do you get to have a better life in? And that's the beauty of Advantage One brokers, and I love it. So, I mean, we're getting all off topic. This is about telesales, but this is great. I'm super excited about the opportunity here. So you're creating this telesales division, and just to kind of frame what I'm looking to dive into. You started this telesales division. You started an office. They helped you set it up. Okay, you got agents in there. How big is the office? How many agents are there? How many deals are they closing a day? How's that? What's the team structure like there? You know, what kind of training are you doing every day or every week?
Let's get right into it. And sorry, I always revert back to it because I'm a little biased. Yes, I love telesales. So that's what I'm over enthusiastic about talking about is telesales, because I truly believe, you guys, this is where the industry is headed. Just because of these pandemics and things are going, millennials aren't filling out mail forms. Generation Y, Z, and Alpha, they rather do everything over the phone. So I'm very enthusiastic about telesales. So with telesales, how I started out, the call center, got the call center here in July, you guys. I got my own office in May, just an executive office all by myself. I said I had a vision, a dream, and Curry and Spencer came alongside, Advantage One came alongside and helped me with the resources, knowledge to get this thing moving. So now I have a call center here. It's 7 desks. I got it filled up with 6 agents. I have my best producer, Nick Chirac, which I would love for you to have a podcast in the future with him and sharing his experience. He's doing $50,000 a month full time. On average, these guys, I'm training to be assassins, doing minimum of 15 to 20,000 over the phone. On average, they do 2-3 sales a day. Nick Chirac is an animal. He's doing 5 deals a day.
I want to get Nick on a call. I want to get Nick on a call. I want to hear his process. We'll do that next time. This is good just to keep people like engaged. Yeah. Hey, next time we're getting Nick Chirac on. I like this.
Yeah, dude, 50K producer easily, you guys. He's a freaking beast. So we got the telesales division. I got my office here. Still get to keep tracks on. I'm taking the guys to lunch 2-3 times a week to build a camaraderie. You know, we're not competing with each other. And that's the beauty about this, where some of these previous IMOs, you're branding yourself as a unique agency where it's like, no, we all come together. So when I get somebody from Advantage One Brokers I've never even heard of, and they say, hey, you're doing telesales, can you train me? Absolutely. Plug on here. We treat everybody like family because we all want to see everybody win. It's like, no, I can't talk to you because you're not direct to me. That's not how it should be. Anybody hungry for knowledge, if I'm available, I'm going to pour into them. And if I can't do them a service, I'm going to plug them into one of the top producers that I know is winning to help extend, because we're all in duplication of the system, plugged in, just going and going and going. So now we're looking at the volume, guys, and in just a few months, bringing you on, Greg, we're going to probably be doing 500,000 in the next month here. It's insane because the level of growth and how much steam this is taking on, because the reality is not everybody wants to meet face-to-face. When I hire somebody and they say, hey, Lance, I've been doing it this way. I don't oppose telesales, but tell me how's that work? I said, look, get in front of your computer. What you do, here's a website you're going to log into. Here's your username, password. There's a little icon on the left. The system is called Vixie Dial. It says green for go, which is unpause, yellow for pause. So all they do is hit green. They now have the ability to accept live transfers. But at this time, they've already been trained. They've walked through the script. I make everybody role play before they ever accept a live transfer, because
how important is role play? How important is practicing role playing?
We do it every day. So we start here just because the leads come in from West Coast, Greg. So we start at 10:30. We do our role play because we get on board at 11. And we want it to just be autopilot. When somebody says, I need to think about it. When somebody says, I need to talk to this person, like autopilot, boom, boom, boom. Because if I instill this into the agents, I'm setting them up for success rather than failure on saying, hey, well, just buy some leads and go try it. You'll learn on the way. No, my goal is to have you set up for success. So I don't want to give you leads until I know you're ready. And I properly trained you so that you can go out there and succeed in every way. And that's what we do here. And
dude, repetition is the mother of mastery.
Yeah.
Getting, especially when you're on the phone all day and you're taking calls, and doing a script practice and role plays before in the morning, before you start your calls, that is the difference between the people that are exceptional and master their trade and the people that, you know, just do okay. Yeah. So that's like literally, I love this analogy because I'm reading Tim Grover right now. So he talks about Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan was, you know, back when he's still playing basketball, and he talks about when he practiced before the game, he would literally just do chest passes. He would do the basics, over and over again, because he wanted to be so exceptional at the basics that it was like second nature. He didn't have to think about it; he just did it. And the way that like he would if when someone passed him the ball, how he'd automatically put his body in a position that he was already ready to do a jump shot. So he didn't have to like catch it and then move and do it. He was already in the position where he was looking towards the basket, catching and jumping at the same time. And he was just like everything, because he had mastered the basics. It was muscle memory. He knew exactly what to do. And that's typically when you look at people that become exceptional at anything, it's not that they do exceptional tasks. It's that they do basic tasks at a very exceptional level. Yeah. And so practicing those basics, that is awesome that you do that, Lance. And I applaud you for that, because a lot of people would just be like, all right, let's get on the phones. And they wouldn't think about the small things. They would think about the small details that make people better. Right. You know, and, hey, let's go have lunch together. You know, let's go take a break, let's go have lunch together. You know, bringing the team together, camaraderie. So you guys play a bunch of party rock music in there? While everyone's on the phone.
Yeah, we do some house. We do house. A lot of it is house, because it has good beats. You know what I mean? You just feel the good mood. Beat.
I've been to some Telesales centers that are like that. I've been to some Telesales centers that
have too much ratchet music in the background, and there's cussing and stuff like that. But you know, at the end of the day, it's what the guys want. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not a micromanager, but the beautiful thing is, Greg, and as you build out your office, when you're free to be able to listen into calls, walk over there and just tune in and see, put it on pause. When they say this, respond this way. You can actually coach to make them better. And that's what people want. Now, when people say, well, Lance, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in North Dakota. How can you do that? You're in South Florida. I said, well, we have a system called I can then drop in on the calls, coach you through it, mute the line, tell you, say, hey, this is how they say this.
Yeah, you can talk and and the agent can hear you, but the client won't. So it's almost like two people talking at the same time, but you're like, hey, just so you know, this is what's happening. This is what I want you to say. And just coach through the call. That's powerful.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, this technology is not like unique just to Advantage One Brokers. Other telesales companies have it. It's just that we have leaders that are doing telesales at high level that are really good at utilizing the technology and making sure that you can be successful.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. I mean, you know, I love telesales. I'm very enthusiastic about it, and it's growing, and you can work anywhere. If you want a physical office, you can. We're opening a second office in Las Vegas. We'll be launching in September. So those that want to work out of a physical location, they can. If I always encourage my guys that are within driving distance, I have a couple of people flying out that we're paying for their flights to give them one-on-one training, let them be here in the office, and just a crash course of being able to take live transfers. And they've been practicing at their house. So they're coming here, they're already going to be boom, taking calls. I'm going to listen to them, and they go back. So just like anybody else, because we're going to expand our offices, that says, well, I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's not a home office I can plug into. Fly out to where we're at. We'll train you. Then we can go back operating remote. If that's what's on your heart, you have the ability. So we're going to have a second office opening in Las Vegas. And then we're going to be opening a third one probably by November, December in California, because that's where the volume's at. Volume cures all things. So if you come in and you're really ambitious about this and you can plug in people, we're going to support you. The resources are there. Whereas,
which, by the way, that's quick. You just came on board and you're already opening another office in Las Vegas. You're planning one in California. Like that's awesome. One, financial backing from partners like Spencer Long and Chris Curry. But now we have this is a good platform to show agents like, hey, if you're looking at doing telesales and you're in the Las Vegas area, hey, we have something coming for you. Okay. And it's quick. So jump on board. Let's get you contracted, let's get you trained, let's get you rolling. All right. And it's that the process is easy. All right. But the other piece of this is you said, hey, fly out. We'll fly you out. We'll fly you out. You don't have to fly to us and pay. Yeah. We'll fly you out to Florida, go sit down with Lance, go sit down in a chair, and he'll get you rolling. He'll take care of you. Yeah. So. Yeah,
because I know the value in investing into those leaders, that they're going to get their whole team trained, well equipped. And these two gentlemen are in Louisiana. They have a team already that's been doing face-to-face. Now they're just looking to convert to telesales. So I know the value that's going to be gained from them coming physically in my office, training with the other guys, being able to listen and coach, because I'm free. I don't have to be bogged down producing and this whole, well, I'm leading for the front mentality, when I could be free and more utilized investing back into the agents. I'm free to be able to do that and give that one-on-one coaching, because that's like you talked about, Greg, it's like you rather have 5 people that are on board that you can really invest in those 5 people than hiring 100 and then not doing a disservice to where they just fall off, where you have 5 people you can give all your attention to because you become duplicated through them and you can give them the leadership, the support they need. And that's what I'm trying to do is I know if I invest hours and hours into them, they're going to be able to turn around and do the same thing to their team.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lance, this has been an awesome talk about, this is kind of, just so everyone's trying, this is kind of a high level concept about, to give you an understanding about what we're doing with telesales. We're going to start digging into the training of telesales. We're going to start digging into more of the data of the minutia of what producers are doing on a daily basis. So we're going to have your good friend on for the next call. Bro, if anyone sees this and they're saying, man, I'm really interested in telesales, I want to jump on with you, how can they get a hold of you?
They can reach out to me on Facebook, or they can just call me directly at 702-600-2171. If I don't answer, text me, leave a voicemail. I'm on the phone 90% of the day. I'll get right back to you. You know, the best way to just leave a message, I'll call right back. Through you as well, Greg, if they reach out to you, just, hey, 3-way text me. You know, hey, I just talked to such and such, reach out to them, they want to jump on board. Because again, we're all as one team. We're not competing with each other. We all want to advance the people that want to come on board with Advantage One Brokers. You know, it's a different from the previous IMO where it's like, hey, I got my camp, you got your camp. And it's like, no, this is one big community that we all want to advance at a high level.
Yeah. Awesome, man. So thank you so much for coming on board. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or any of the other Advantage One brokers that you've seen in the previous videos. We're all here to